talk about Beth burping.
The ABCs.
Mm-hmm.
There's the intro. You gotta open it.
What? I am like the most awkward one. One of you guys has to be conversational.
Beth, do you want to open
Open what?
the pod?
No, thank you.
Try again.
I already said I would try later.
Not today.
It's later.
Well,
You got it.
technically Beth just opened it.
With you got it?
Yep.
All right.
You got it.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
I like the vinyl squeal off at the
Yeah.
end there. That was good.
brings everybody in.
Let's do quick intros quick before we get into our lounge talk.
Hi, this is Ashley.
I'm Ashley.
This
Wait.
is Tyler.
And that is Beth.
Or Bethy Boo.
Or Beth Friend.
Not Bethany.
Not Beth.
Never Bethany.
And
Beth friend.
Yeah.
and this is our guest today, Mr. Mike or Michael? What do you Mike
yeah.
Whitlock.
Unless I'm in trouble.
Yep.
So many mics.
Yeah, I have a brother, Mike.
All of myself and all of the female paras in my classroom are either dating or married to a Mike.
We're pretty cool.
That's so crazy.
Depends on the day.
Jimmy John's calls me Senor Guapo, so I don't know.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
That's awesome.
Wait, there's one? How many mics then?
5 plus my mic. 6.
That's kind of crazy.
Plus
Yeah, it's
Whitlock.
crazy.
7.
7
Yeah. But I mean, to have everybody in your room
with a mic or
with
Michael.
a mic.
Yeah.
Wow.
Interesting.
Learn
That's
something
very
new.
weird.
It's
Yeah.
like they have a type or something.
We told Sam
Yeah.
he needs to find a Michelle then.
I have siblings. They're twins, Mike and Michelle.
See, it's perfect.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Mr. Whitlock is our guest today. And go ahead, tell us, I guess we have up on our board, name what you teach and how many years you've been teaching.
So Mike Whitlock. I just finished my 8th year, and I teach 5th grade English. So the next year I'll have a new partner again. It'll be my 6th straight year with a new partner. So
Whoa.
Oh,
For
that's
my-
crazy.
Harry Potter fans, I'm starting to feel like my partner's the dark arts job.
A dude
Yeah.
for real.
Department of the Duck.
Like
So-
nobody wants it.
And this year,
And just to point out,
Who's
we
dying next?
are at, we're at a dual language school. So when
Yes.
you say English, you teach all subjects still, but you're just teaching in the language English.
Yes, so I have a partner who speaks Spanish, and then we switch halfway through the day every day.
So then how many kids do you guys actually have in a class?
Usually like 25 in a class is what the cap has normally been. And then this year, due to teachers being cut or whatever, we were at like 27 in one and then 26 in the other. So we had like
Holy.
53 kids this year.
Oh my gosh. I
We're in-
could not imagine.
That's
in the
crazy.
past, it was always 50 was
Yeah.
the max. But
that's a lot of kids.
A lot of
I did not realize it was that many.
yeah, well, I mean, it's not horrible when grades, when you put in grades and grading tests, that and then you see it, but on the day-to-day, I don't it's not overwhelming on the day-to-day, but when you sit down to do 50-something tests, it's like, okay,
That's brutal.
Oh, that's tough.
we got a lot to go through. But my first year at Irving, I was mono only, so just English classroom, and I had like 34 in my class pretty much the whole year, and I was in the same room I'm in now, so it was pretty tight.
34.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then Miss Mueller was her first year, was my first year too, and I think she had like 34 or 35, and she was in Enostro's room, that little closet that's up there.
Oh my
dang.
goodness.
She had like 35 kids in that little one. So.
That's
Oh my
so
gosh.
terrible.
There's like no room to move.
No.
That would be crazy.
That's
No,
insane.
it was a fun first year.
Yeah.
Talk about some
even
trauma.
Get real close with your classmates
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
students.
Oh my goodness. Have you only ever taught 5th grade?
No, my first year was 4th grade actually.
Okay.
So I was still in the same room, and so I was just isolated by myself down in the 5th grade pod. They've offered me to move rooms in the past few years with people coming and going because other classrooms are larger, but I don't like change very much, so I like to stay in my room.
Yep. I feel
Moving is
that.
a pain.
Don't want to move. Yeah.
Got your setup.
Yep. I get comfy in my little box. I don't want to go anywhere else.
Dude, I miss the cave classroom.
you got offered to move this going for next year, and you declined already.
Yeah. We're going to make it work. I like my space.
Yeah.
Yep. Just need to put a little soundproofing on your door from the art room. That's the only thing.
A little sound machine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They get a little excited in there.
I love my room. This year it was first grade lunch that got me when they were coming out of lunch going to recess. It was just that time of day where that group was just a little extra loud. Mm-hmm. But apart from that, I feel very centralized.
Which, Ashley, do you get the same problems then? 'Cause
No.
You're right across the hall, right?
I don't really hear it. Mainly because my kids are usually loud. So we tune out. I don't hear it as much. But your room is painful during that time.
The kids line up against the wall, and if they're like knock on the brick, I can hear it coming through.
Yeah.
I think after the first month, I started tuning it out. But towards the end of the year, I think the last month,
It got wild.
everybody was just all done. Kids were ready.
Yeah,
to
and then it's like adults yelling at the kids
Yeah.
too.
It's frustrating, but
Yeah.
then it's probably only like 5 minutes
Yeah.
while they're lining
Yeah.
up, and then
Yeah.
And my kids, the students I saw, I mean, they got really good with ignoring, like people coming in and out, people coming by. People popping into the window. I'd have little kindergartners.
Yeah.
Mr. Anderson. My kids just, so and so's out there. I'm like, yeah, I know.
that's my class because my room faces the west playground.
Oh,
so
Oh,
we get
boy.
the soccer ball beaten off the window all the time. So at the start of the year in August, I'm like, get used to it, guys. That's going to
Yeah.
be all year long.
Yep.
Oh, I've thought about that. Some of you guys with those classrooms right there on the playground. That would, yeah, but they get used to
The
it.
screen breaks every year and they replace it every year. I'm like, why are we wasting money?
You're right.
Just leave it. It's going to
Yeah.
happen again.
Well, then the screens got cut out on part of the
Yeah.
school
Yeah,
this
that was
year.
All
That was
around the
creepy.
backside.
Yeah.
That's great. And then Mr. Lilly, we looked at his, and his window had like streak marks, like they were trying to open his window, but they couldn't.
Well, the one
Oh my gosh.
was open, like across
Maldonado's.
from yeah, his room. Because we had got there at like 6:30 or whatever we usually do, and I was like, "Dude, your screen is cut." And then we looked, and like that window was
They got a
open, and
window open.
yeah,
So we went and found Maria quick and got keys, and we like went in the room. I think they had gotten it open, or it was open, and it maybe shocked them or something because they didn't.
Yeah.
Nothing was moved or anything. Yeah, that was kind of crazy. They never did replace the screens. There was a lot of because I thought it was just that little cutout. It was all around fifth grade, around the fourth grade. It was a lot.
just pray for me if I ever lose my screen because I will have a child out that window that day. He tries every day with the screen.
Just
That's
wants to get
scary.
out.
Yeah. Playground.
Yep. Well, should we
Get in.
get into our bell ringer?
Look at
Summon it.
Fairy bell ringer.
That was
We're
so
getting
good.
good.
Better.
Didn't smash your arm in the table this time.
No.
All right. So
Uninterrupted.
Pause. Explain the bell ringer process.
yes. Okay. So with the bell ringer, we start the class or the session out with a bell ringer. We all will answer the bell ringer, and then everybody. So if I'm answering it, you three will give me a grade.
Perfect.
There is zero rubric to the grading system. It's however you feel.
Vibes.
Oh, so it's not like 1 through 6 or
No.
A through F.
It's
we've
you
been
know what?
doing ABC.
But we did say there is no.
Yeah.
It's whatever you
Or
feel.
it could be a smiley chart.
Yep. Smiley, moderate, or sad.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna have to
our
change
bell
mine
ringer
up.
for today. If you were going to teach in another country, which country and why? Okay.
This is very easy for me. Very easy. Something me and my wife have.
Oh, you've thought about
Really?
Or
that. All right. The first person to answer. I better not look. Here.
Bethy Boo.
Boom.
The only place outside of the U.S. that I have actually like talked to people in teaching at would be Honduras. Because I had a friend teach out there, and he really enjoyed it. You're kind of in like the countryside, and so nothing really crazy. And then on the weekends, you can go to waterfalls, the ocean, and he just had a really good experience. Everyone was very welcoming, and he loved the kids out there too. So yeah, that would be my only place right now.
All right. Ashley, go ahead.
I give it a B. I don't even know if you can actually see those on the camera. Anyway, I don't know. I've actually, like, right out of college was looking at, like, doing mission trips and stuff like that where you, like, go and teach. I don't know. It just doesn't sound like completely for me, so that's why the B. I feel like I would be worried about the, like, running water situation.
Or the bugs.
Yeah. But, yeah, that's why I say B.
Okay, valid.
I give it an A. Because I'm a little ashamed of the fact that I don't know exactly where Honduras is.
It's right by El Salvador.
South America?
Central.
Central. See? Okay.
We should get a globe.
Yes.
We have the big map in my classroom.
Yes.
We could put it right there. Okay, anyway, focus.
Continue.
Quick side note. And another time, remind me to tell you about a globe. Anyway. Yeah, so Honduras sounds... I don't know. Like, I was kind of like... I like geography and stuff like that. And when you said... Like, I thought for sure I would... I don't know, this one I'm not very familiar with.
Surprise.
I would have a hard time because I've never left our country, the United States, and I'm very much like grounded in my routine. I feel like it'd be good if I shook it up, but I would feel uncomfortable doing that. So
Valid.
I gave it a 4.
All right.
Okay, proficient.
She passed.
Yep.
She's proficient. I just need a little bit more.
Okay.
More information.
I love
valid.
that.
Explain that out for me a little more.
That's hilarious.
Honduras sounds like a lot of fun, but like what draws you there more than like your friend being there? Like what? Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like that. That is legit.
But I've always been told I'm a really bad grader, like hard.
So don't take it personally.
No, like a few
got
years
it.
ago when Mr. Hendricks. Who
Oh, yeah.
you were
I
there
remember
for,
him.
And Miss Aparicio. We like pulled out a writing sample of our students.
Yeah.
And then with the principal and a PLC, and they're like, "Will you grade this?" And we all graded it, and I gave it like a 2, and they gave it a 4. And then we did another one, and I gave it like a 1, and they gave it a 4.
That's
and I was
hilarious.
Like, I'm starting to feel like I'm just a really mean
Yeah.
person.
That's awesome.
Maybe I'm holding them to really high expectations.
Maybe I need to loosen up a little bit.
Solid.
Honduras.
All right, who's
All right.
next?
Just close your eyes.
I just you said to give it a rattle.
Yeah, you
All right.
gotta.
I love the intensive eye contact.
All right, Mr. Whitlock.
Does it say that, or does it say guest?
It says guest number 1. But it's Mr. Whitlock.
For me, it would be Spain. Me and my wife talked about this a
You
lot.
guessed it.
I when we make this question, I thought that's what it would be.
Yeah, we've talked about it a lot. For one, we want our kids to be fluent in Spanish.
That's awesome.
So Mexico, Spain. There's other countries, obviously, but I looked in and I got accepted 2 years ago for the same type of program that like Bayunza and Gomez and them did at our school. So I got accepted for one. They pretty much just said whenever I'm ready, let them know.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Cool.
It's just hard with my wife's job. She's a mental health therapist and she owns her own practice.
Yeah.
Oh.
So that's what holds us up. I've been ready to leave Iowa in the
Yeah.
United States for a while.
Yeah.
But it's not that easy when you have kids and a wife that has a private
Yeah.
practice.
Yeah.
So,
That would be
but
so
Spain
cool.
for sure, so my kids could be proficient on a border of the coast. So we could go to the beach, do whatever.
Wow, that's awesome.
And then I'm a huge Real Madrid soccer fan, so we wouldn't stay in Madrid because that's in Central, and I don't want to be in Central. But we would definitely take trips up to go to the games.
That'd be your go-to.
Yeah, and then once you're in the Union, the European Union, like you can travel wherever you want.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like traveling to Nebraska, South Dakota, but it'd be more fun to travel to like Portugal and France.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. Probably a lot better
Way
food too.
You know, I can't call credit for guessing. I think I had a conversation with you about this once because as you were talking about Real Madrid and stuff, I'm like, sounds familiar. Like, we might have
Gotcha,
talked.
gotcha.
So,
Yeah, big Spain. I mean, I feel like when you're from a country, you're like more attached to like all the negative things that happen around. And when you're visiting, you're just
Yeah.
like,
Here
I
for the
don't-
vibes.
don't care. Like, let's just do whatever. So,
Yeah.
You only really see the positives.
yeah. And the weather is a big positive.
Yeah.
70 degrees year round. Like,
Dude,
I love
yeah.
the snow, but I'm over it.
I had a
don't get to have
roommate-
fun in it anymore. So,
I had a roommate from Spain, and she's like, the first time it like snowed, she's like, "How? What? Like, no, get me out of here."
Yeah, I was definitely like I love snow kid. And then even as a young adult, I'm like, when I'm hitting the point, last couple of years, I'm just like, I'm over it.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I was. Like, I used to love snowboarding or like building stuff with my kids, but anymore we don't even get the time to do it.
No.
So it's just now I just get to drive in this crap.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
And it's been Antarctica when it snows. Like, it's been so cold you can't even like go out and play.
Yeah. Well, I give it an A+, because for whatever reason, I thought you might go there. But also, I think that program that you talked about, how teachers from Spain come here, and I think that's a really neat thing. And I didn't even know that until midway through this year, that we had a teacher in our building that was leaving. Like,
Right.
We used to have a really hot teater that did. I so just said that on the podcast.
hey, it's out there.
Miss De La Plaza, if you're listening.
No, the guy.
I know,
my
Mr.
fir-
Gomez.
Yeah. My first year.
I was trying to save you, but
No, we're just really putting it all the way out there.
Yeah, fully out.
I had an IEP meeting with him one time though, and I like was sweating before. I was so nervous.
Big IEP? No.
No, just a hot teacher
just
from
Mr.
Spain.
Gomez. Just Mr. Gomez. That's awesome.
Oh my god.
I do think it's it's really cool, but I was talking to our assistant principal Deemer about it, and like they get it, friendships get made, bonds get made, and then that 3 years, whatever it is up, and they have to part of it is they have to go back, and that can be tough.
It was really sad that year because there was another teacher.
De La Plaza did
Yeah.
5 years here.
Wow.
She did the initial 3, and then she applied for a 2-year bonus, and she got approved for it. So she did 5 years here. And then, so there was another one that left my first year that was really emotional. Like a lot of people had good connections with her. They always talked about. And then since I've been there, we had Bosch, Monse, who was there with the same time as Gomez.
Oh, okay. I only remember him.
Yeah. We've had a few other
I
ones.
didn't get out much before.
Not as memorable of a face.
I'll talk more on this podcast other teachers from our school than I ever have probably at school.
Part of the program though is thing that holds me up is if we ever did come back to Iowa, I kind of want to talk to the school board or downtown and do I get to keep my time in served, so
yeah.
what if I go over there for 2 or 3 years and then come back? I don't want to go to the bottom of the totem pole again.
Right.
I want to keep my seniority because what I'm doing is essentially bettering me for the position I'm doing back here.
I feel like our admin would be super supportive
Yeah,
and help you
but-
advocate for that, but yeah, I don't.
That would only go so far.
Yeah.
But if I'm over there 2 years, I mean, I'm already on my way to being bilingual.
Yeah.
So if I went over there and immersed in it for 2 years, I would definitely pick up on it. So I don't know.
It'd be
That'd be
like
cool.
an extended training.
It'd be
Yeah. It's PD experience.
That'd be cool.
great. Send Ashley selfies of Gomez.
Look who I ran into today.
So anyway, I also gave you an A. I think Spain would be really cool. I have my freshman and sophomore year roommate of college. She was from Spain, Madrid. And yeah, I don't know. I think it would be cool, but
I gave you 6.
ooh,
I've done
okay.
the same number vibe. I've had a lot of friends go there. They say all good things. All your reasons were valid.
Dude, the nightlife is
Couldn't
crazy.
disagree.
You would thrive.
Yeah, my friends want to go backpacking through Europe next summer.
I told my, when she first moved to Iowa, I'm like, oh yeah, bars close at 2. She's like, 2? We stay out till 6. I'm like, no, time for bed.
Well, they don't even eat dinner until 10 over there.
Yeah.
So when you look into the culture, it's everything that I
Yeah.
like.
Thriving, yeah.
Walk to the market and get food for a day or two, not this huge fridge full of junk that
Yeah.
just get a couple days worth of food and then that's what we're cooking.
I
And
love
then just siestas, who doesn't love a nap?
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Go swim during the day, take a nap, and then get ready to go out late at 9, 10 for dinner.
Yeah.
That would be nice.
It's my life. But
Yeah, that is ideal.
Converting me. That sounds really nice. Like a
Yeah.
good siesta.
You wouldn't survive, though. My friend always made fun of my clothes. She's like, you look like a hobo all the time. I'm like, yeah, that's comfy. She's like, no.
Wait.
She would wear jeans to class.
Why did you specifically say I wouldn't survive and then talk about the clothing? I feel like
I don't know,
I'm a well
I feel
dressed.
like you are a well-dressed person. But I feel like you're a comfy t-shirt.
Oh, yeah,
I want to
yeah.
be comfortable person.
Yeah.
Not...
No,
I'm really not thriving this
We're not,
episode.
I don't
step
even-
down from business casual, like just
Yeah.
on the day to day. Like normally I'm gonna go for a t-shirt and sweatpants before like jeans
Yeah.
and just like a basic.
I didn't
tee
wear
or
a single
something.
pair of jeans this year.
I haven't worn any in months.
I would rather wear my dress pants
Yeah.
than jeans.
I wore jeans one day because I had a meeting I was scared for. I needed to like look good, feel good kind of day.
I wear like black jeans, but as far
Yeah.
as like regular old blue jeans, I don't wear. But my dress pants are so comfortable. I'm with you. Like
Yep.
they're so comfortable.
Yep.
Mabel, my daughter, I may. She'll ask me like, "Why aren't you wearing?" I'm like, "My dress pants are so comfortable.
Yeah.
I'm good."
Yep. Yeah, there'd be days it'd be jean day or whatever. And nah.
Nope. I got into wearing those water resistant pants.
Yes, they're the best.
Yep.
Yeah, you guys wear those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have literally every color they have in my size.
And then it just doubles over when the kids are a little excited.
Yeah.
Easily washable, easily dryable.
Wash and dry.
Yep. Next.
Me.
Okay.
I forgot the sound. Okay, this is not based off of anything by the school, just by the country and my curiosity of. So, I worked at Camp High Hopes for 2 summers.
Hey, I volunteered there in college.
Did you?
Yeah.
My
When I went to
God.
Morningside, they had us do like something for the special education class I was taking with Mr. Arnett. I think that was the
Yes, Scott Arnett. Yep.
He made us do a volunteer program thing, and that
Okay.
was one of the options. So I went there. It was awesome out there.
Yeah, I my first summer I was there. I was a day camp counselor, and then my second summer there, I was the day camp lead counselor.
Yeah, promotion.
I know, it was,
Moving up.
but I loved it there. And but one of the neatest things that I enjoyed was the fact that like all the sleepaway camp counselors were from other countries.
Yeah.
So I mean, I had to go through a whole week training, and there was a girl from Poland, and for her first time ever out of Poland, and like talking to her and learning about that. But anyway, going to the bell ringer, Ireland. I got a friend from Ireland, Erin. She's from there, and I don't know. It was just I love like outdoors and like history, and like castles are normal there. I was just like, I think I annoyed the crap out of her because I'm like, so what else? Like, what else do you see? What else? And
Not
she's like,
you
yeah,
annoying
castles are normal.
somebody.
It's fine.
Never. Couldn't be.
I would love to hear you picking up an Irish accent.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
That'd be solid.
Oh, there was another thing I do all the time. Like, what do you call this? What do you call that? And she was like, but like, I don't remember what it was. So it's going to be anticlimactic. But grilled cheese was something really funny.
That's
Oh,
awesome.
If anybody knows what they call grilled cheese,
Comment.
let us know because it was something funny. A toasty or something. I don't know.
yeah.
But Ireland. But I don't know anything like school related. What it'd be like to teach there. But
How did they get these counselors from these other countries?
there was
It's like a program
a program.
online.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
And
was
they said, yeah, Sioux City, Iowa. That's
Yeah.
where I
well,
want to go.
and what's crazy is so they would have to be at camp on Sunday by like 4 p.m. to bring in the new campers. Then they could not leave the campgrounds until Friday, and it was around 5. They would go to like Mount Rushmore,
Yeah.
like
Like on short little breaks.
on a short break and be back by Sunday, or like the Badlands and be back, or Minneapolis and be back. And it was crazy. And then a lot of them would at the end of the camp season, they went on a trip
Yeah.
and they
all
went
the way
around the country. It's kind of, I think it's part of the program they were in. They got to go to like New York, Florida, somewhere in Texas, somewhere in California, and then back around. But they spent a month afterwards traveling. So yeah,
That's
it was
cool.
It was very, very cool.
That's what I'm always like with these teachers from Spain. It's like, you really chose Iowa?
Yeah.
Because like the reverse, like they gave me like 10 cities, and they're like, whatever
Yeah.
city you want.
That would
just
be
pick
cool.
one.
Yeah.
So
But yeah.
I'm always interested, like, why are you here?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why
Why
Iowa?
are you here?
We have a para who is from Colombia, and he came here, and I asked him, saying like, why? And he was like, well, I think with the program he came over with, they said you couldn't go to some of the bigger cities, but he's like, never heard much about Iowa. I said,
Yeah.
there's a reason.
Yeah.
There's
That's
a reason for
why.
that one.
Yeah. Yeah.
I give you an A. I think Ireland would be cool. Accent is a bonus. That's all I really have to say about it.
Valid. I give you a 5 because I also agree. Ireland would be cool. Heard all good things, but you didn't give me as many facts and points as to why, so I can't give you a 6.
True. Oh, my dog's squeaking.
That's still good.
That's why I gave you a 4. I almost went 3.
Ooh.
Tough grader.
I am. I liked your enthusiasm, but not enough information.
Yep.
Wasn't enough to.
I needed to build out my my web a little bit more.
Yeah, I think you need a graphic organizer next time.
And last but not least, Ashley.
Well, I'm gonna give you even less information about the school because I actually have zero to contribute to that part of it. But I really want to go to Australia, so I think I would pick Australia, mainly because I want to hold all the different animals that live there. But, yeah. Oh, Rosie, so sad.
I gotta tell you. Rosie, go upstairs.
She wants to come snuggle.
No.
But yeah, and I think it's really cool that like the toilets go backwards and like the water flows backwards.
You know that's not just an Australian thing. It's everything south of the
Southern.
I knew that 100%.
Southern hemisphere.
So anyway, Australia is my choice. This is not the episode for me.
I'm not even sure I knew that.
Just
period.
Australia's toilets and water.
The toilets and the animals.
Yeah.
All right.
The animals. Okay.
What was that look for?
Geez, you guys are just hilarious.
I gave her a 5.
Okay.
Probably just because I watch a lot of Bluey, so it makes me want to go to Australia too.
yeah.
So I heard Australia, and I guess I didn't need information. After that.
Right?
Bluey's cool.
That's valid.
I like it.
I'm gonna wait for him to.
Oh. I think maybe you can go and then we'll just talk until he comes back.
I'm back.
Oh.
I did a 4. My older brother lives in Australia, and my niece. Yeah,
Cool.
I know, right?
I knew this.
Yeah. So
Rude.
little jealous, but they also have such big bugs and snakes
Yeah,
and
that
things
would
that
be
I'm not sure I
scary.
could get behind actually living there for a long
Like a
term.
little koala.
I'd like a good visit, 10, 12 days.
Koalas
And
make
then I
really
think it'd be
scary
good.
noises.
Yeah, I don't do spiders. I don't want to check under the toilet seat before I
Yeah,
go.
no thanks.
Nope. So yeah, that's why you get a 4 from me.
Okay.
You get a grade of violet.
What? No. Oh, okay.
So
Like,
to me, violet is the best color of the rainbow.
okay.
Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet.
Okay.
I don't know. Went out there a little bit. So,
Yeah, I like it.
and I also like Australia. There's a YouTube channel called How Ridiculous. Mm-hmm. It's 3 Australians that just they have a big tower out in the middle of nowhere, dropping things off this tower, and that's escalated into dropping things into helicopter blades. And my daughter and I watch their episodes all the time, and they, for whatever reason, they're Club 44. Mm-hmm. So we have. Do you know
Oh, the painted sweatshirt.
my painted sweatshirt? I have
We've
this
talked about this.
white
I feel like we
sweatshirt
watched
that's
their videos.
spotted all.
Probably
paint.
had to.
They made a
Non-consensual watching of YouTube videos.
They made a YouTube video where they took a bunch of fabric and laid it out in a field and cannonballed a bunch of paint. And then they took that fabric and made clothing out of it. And so, like, I have a little cannonball picture with the paint. And my daughter has one that's like tire tracks because they took a bunch of tires and rolled it through paint on fabric. So, and the accents are awesome.
And Hugh Jackman.
Hugh Jackman's awesome.
Daddy Jackman.
And I think
We're getting
the
so
country would be
comfortable.
really cool to visit. But, Beth, I agree. Everything's bigger than Australia.
Yeah.
Bug-wise. All right.
Let's ask Hugh.
I don't know about you.
Huey.
Not sure I can get behind that one.
Do love The Greatest Showman. Though.
Yes.
Just watch that.
Yes.
Just watch that with a couple students. At
Full
the
of
end of the
so
year.
many bangers, honestly.
My daughter was 3, came home from daycare, and she's like, there's a new movie. And we're like, what is it? And we put it on. We watched that thing 3 times a day, like, for 2 years solid. It
So
was-
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good.
That's my Mike's go-to for karaoke. If I'm like, no, you can't sing like any like metal, then
You
he'll
know
start
I
doing.
want you.
Yeah, yep. And he likes the one with Zac Efron, like the duet that they do about like buying the
yeah.
whatever circus.
That's a really good one.
Oh, that's
Maybe
funny.
10.
Yeah, he told me I should learn one part of it. I was like, you already got me to do Love is an Open Door. We know that, like our own separate parts. I don't know.
Frozen, I almost said Tangled.
Yeah. Yep. Anyway, sorry.
Good
side
song.
note.
No, I love musicals.
Yeah, Hamilton.
Yeah.
Hamilton reigns in our house.
I've never actually watched that one.
I
You
saw
have a boo button over there? Boo.
Oh, womp womp. Yeah. It'll be on my summer watch list.
I saw somewhere Hamilton's getting the original cast back together for like a I don't know if
that's
it's a
cool.
series of shows, but
That'd be
I
cool.
mean, he's done well. He did all the Encanto music.
Yeah.
He did
Yeah.
a few songs for the first Moana, and then I think he did all the last Moana.
Yep.
Like he's good.
he did there's another Disney Vivo.
Oh,
He did the music for
Yeah.
Vivo too. I love that. Yeah, we're a big musical family. We're actually going to New York next week, and we're going to go see Lion King on Broadway and then Wicked.
oh, nice.
Yeah.
That'll be so fun.
Yeah. It's getting real. Like, it's like less than 10 days. It's kind of like, whew, so much to figure out.
Put your game face on.
Yeah.
Get serious.
Yeah.
You
I
gotta
tell you,
you're
lock
ready
in
to
now.
go.
It was funny. I talked to Kreisberg, Howard, and I was just talking to him, and like he was like, okay, on the corner of 56th and 6th, there's a coffee shop. Like, I said, how do you know this? Apparently his daughter lived there.
Yep.
But he's like giving me the name of the guy that runs the little coffee shop. Great insight. I spent probably 45 minutes talking to him and CJ about just what to do and where to go. Her mom lives in
Yep.
Stanton.
She lives in one of the boroughs.
Yeah.
She's in New York.
Yep. Yeah.
That'd
We
be
should
so fun.
probably try to get us back on to
Yeah.
our...
Well, no, that was a great bell ringer.
We're
Yep,
doing great.
yep.
Yep.
We're doing great.
So now, the lesson for today,
Yes.
the subject is
Social skills.
social skills and building relationships.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
We don't really have any questions that are actually super specific to that, but I'm sure we'll get into
Yeah.
it.
The first one, we're going to let Beth read because this was kind of your question that you kind of came up with. So,
Oh yeah. What was school like? It was. I totally
was.
forgot.
I was just dead at her like, oh, yeah.
What was school like for you growing up? Like, what was your personal experience with school? Overall, more of a positive, negative, kind of in the middle? That's the
Yeah.
question.
and that's for you, Mr. Whitlock.
Oh, just for me.
Yeah, now we're just interviewing
Yeah.
you.
Oh, yeah, we just
That's
dropped
so special.
today the
So special.
one of our
Yeah.
all like trauma, so.
Huh? Oh, an episode?
Yeah.
we
Yeah,
just
our
dropped
last
ours
episode.
today, so.
So what
Yeah.
was school like for me? I'd say elementary was pretty positive. My parents got divorced when I was in 4th grade. I'd say anything after that was probably not as good. Elementary was really good. I grew up in Riverside, so out in Sioux City.
Oh, okay.
Went to Riverview, which is now torn down and just houses.
Yeah, I've never even heard of that
That's
one.
crazy.
It was good. I had my favorite teacher from elementary was Miss Shanafelt. She was on, and then she also taught at Morningside Elementary, and I think she might be like a professor
She
at
was. I was
Morningside
gonna say
University
Diane.
now. Yeah,
I had her for like 4 classes at Morningside.
she was my favorite in elementary. She was super nice. Yeah, right. But the even crazier, I was like the old man who went back to college. So I did construction for like 10 years out of high
Oh,
school.
okay.
And then my body was starting to already give out. My wife's a smart lady, and she's like, you should go back to college. I'm like, okay. Not really a good student, but let's try it.
Yeah.
See how it goes.
Right? And when I started, Miss Shanafeld's daughter was in teaching classes with me, and I was like, this is weird.
That's wild.
Because I remember when I had her, she was pregnant with her.
Oh my
So, like,
gosh.
I was
Oh
like
my
9 or 10
goodness.
at the time. And my teacher was pregnant, and then here I am,
A full
a
circle
long time
moment.
later,
That's
going to
crazy.
college with the baby.
That's funny.
Wow.
But elementary was good. Middle school, didn't like it. I don't think anyone likes middle school. I don't know. It's just a weird place.
Yep, it is.
It's a very weird place. But I also had the best principal ever at middle school, Dr. Rogers. Michael
Oh,
Rogers, Dr.
yeah.
Rogers. He passed away, unfortunately, a few years ago, but he was like everything to me because I was not in a good place in middle school with everything that was going on in my life personally, and he helped a lot. He was always out at recess playing football with us in the hallway. He would always so positive and like smiling, and then when you messed up, he held you accountable. Like there was no fake niceties. He's holding you accountable.
Yeah.
My brother was like 4.5, 5 years older than me, and had gotten in some trouble. So like the first day of middle school, he walks over and he's like, "Mike Whitlock, been waiting for you." And I was like, "Oh no."
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Thanks, brother.
Right? So, oh no, but he was great. And then even when I became like a teacher, I was in a meeting at some school and Dr. Rogers was there, and he walks right over and he's like, "Mike Whitlock, you're a teacher now? You're going to do great." Da, da, da. And I'm just like, I love this guy.
That's awesome.
I've always liked him.
That's so
He
cool.
was probably my favorite person in the academic world. Without him, middle school would have been a lot worse. And then high school was pretty good. I was in the sports for a while and then just didn't anymore.
Yeah.
Dumb kid making stupid mistakes. Had chances to play college basketball and didn't do it. Was a pretty good student until senior year, I would say. And then I just didn't go to school a lot. I went from like a 3.6 down to like a 2 point something senior year. So
I find it
That's
crazy, like, how many teachers, like, you'll talk to them and they're like, "Oh, I was a terrible student. I hated school, whatever." Like, both of my siblings before me were valedictorians. So I was like, I have to be so good at school. I have to do everything. Like, we were all in, like, National Honor Society. Like, I was just a little, like, do everything for school. So I think it's crazy how many teachers aren't like, "Oh, I loved school. It was my favorite, blah, blah, blah."
I'm the opposite. And I've talked to our principal, Senora Ruelas, from day one. Like, she's always had she's well aware of my outlook on teaching is I'm here to teach you how to be a good person and build like lifelong relationships with you. The academics will happen. I feel like that will happen. Yes, there's things I can do to like make it happen faster, but my job every year is like be an advocate for the students, show them that someone's in their corner, and that our relationship doesn't end just because you're moving to sixth grade. Like whether you're in 11th grade or you're 25 years old, whatever it be, like I'm there. So just building that relationship and letting them know like someone's here for you, because there's a lot of kids that I've had that are like are going through the same thing that I went through with like a divorce and then other things that happened in my life, and it's just letting them know someone's here for you. Build relationships, try to build that family in the classroom, and academics will happen. But if I can teach you how to be a good person, that's I think that's more beneficial to your life than inferencing.
Yeah, 100%.
Now math, you're gonna need math.
Yes, yes.
You're gonna
yes.
need math, so we're gonna. But yeah.
I think that I got to see that firsthand because very first it was open. What do they call it? Open house. You know, I'm new to our school this year, and I get put down in the 5th grade pod to hand out slips, and the amount of siblings. I think there was even one group. It was like two girls that weren't even there with siblings. They just knew Irving had their open house, and they were like, "We're coming down to talk to Mr. Whitlock." And just seeing that firsthand, I mean, it wasn't like 2 or 3. It was like 9, 10, or 11 different kids that were like specifically coming to your room. And it was just, I remember coming home and my wife's, talking, "Well, what do you think of, seeing the kids and, all that?" And I specifically brought you up and I was like, it's great. Like, it's an environment where relationships are like grown and made to be an important piece. And then to see how you maybe have a 5th grader coming in, you knew a lot of the younger siblings' names. And I thought that was really cool. Like, I took inspiration from that. Like, and, you've talked in the past, you and I have, and about like trying to get to know those kids before they get to you.
Yep.
So it's not just a 1 year build it and leave it.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, that's like that Dr. Rogers style. Like, I'm in the hallway. Like, during my plan times, I'm in the halls. I'm not in my room with the door closed. I'm in the halls. And I plan with my team like twice a week, but the other times I'm out there and I'm talking to 1st graders, 2nd graders, because like in 5th grade, they're here. Like you said, they're here, then they're gone. So if I don't get to know you in the years before, it's really like 1 year and you're gone. Whereas if I taught 1st grade, I get to see you grow and whatever.
Right.
But being 5th grade, we're a little different to where you're here, then you're gone. So try to get out and meet as many kids as I can. Yeah, it makes you feel really good when like Mr. Seifert came back with those high school kids, and like they wanted to come see my classroom, and I'm like, yeah, let's do it.
That's awesome.
That sounds like a blast.
That's awesome.
Friend Maria came down. She's like, well, they say they want to go to your class. I'm like, bring them all in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Bring
that's
them all.
so
It's
cool.
gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was awesome.
And then we're gonna beat them in kickball.
Hey, there you go.
Got to keep them right where you need
Right.
them.
Yes.
Yeah, I like that. So then the next thing we were going to ask is, what is your favorite and or traumatic school story? Anything growing up? And that could be as a student yourself.
Oh, I was thinking like teaching wise.
Yeah, let's do that. That'd be more
Teaching?
fun from your teaching perspective.
Yeah.
Favorite moment, or like traumatic sounds extreme, but it could be traumatic or just like a holy crap
Yeah.
situation.
My favorite moment was probably happened during like my second year teaching. So my first year I was fourth grade mono, where it was English only, like I had talked about. And I had this girl who went to special education. And when I was with her, we did a social studies test, and I just took verbal answers from her, and I wrote in her answers. I don't know if I was supposed to do that. It wasn't on her IEP, but she had a problem with writing. And I said, well, if you know the answers, why do I care if you can write it?
Right.
This isn't a writing test. It's not a
Yeah,
reading test.
yeah.
It's a social studies test.
Yep.
I want to know if you know the information.
Right.
So I tested her, and I wrote her answers, and she got a 4.
Heck yeah.
And we moved on. I thought nothing of it. And then the next year when she was in 5th grade, we had these like thank you cards that they were doing. And she had written me one. And she brought it to me, and it said, thank you for letting me tell you my answers instead of making me write them. And I was like, you remember this? And she was like, yeah. She goes, it was like my favorite thing. And I was like, something so small.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She hung on to it. I had forgotten all about it.
Yeah.
And then she hung on to it and came back with me. And I was like, oh, see, that's cool.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
That's a cool story.
That's probably my favorite school story. I mean, I love field day, stuff like that. But
Yeah.
as far as like making an impact, or when I get emails from students, like
Yeah.
just checking in with you, Mr. Whitlock, seeing how you're doing, I'm like, see,
That's so cool.
that lets me know that I did something right.
Yeah.
That's a boost. You're like,
Right.
all right, I'm here.
Because a lot of times, you know, being a teacher, it's like, am I even
Yeah.
worth
Like, what's
a
the
damn? Like,
point?
should I
Yeah.
even be here? I don't know if I should even be here.
Are they
Like,
even going to remember this in
Like,
a couple months?
I put in
Yeah.
test scores, and it's like, I don't think I should be doing this job.
Yeah. For real.
Yeah.
And then you get emails like that, or kids that come back, and you're like, all right. Comes back to like my mindset of relationships. Academics will happen. Relationships. Most traumatic. I don't think I've had horrible. I don't know. Most traumatic for me growing up, but this is a fake tooth right here.
Yeah.
I got thrown into a brick wall in 6th grade, and it knocked my tooth out and pushed this one back.
Oh,
Oh,
my
jeez.
God.
Lucky I only lost one and didn't
Yeah.
like break anything,
Yeah.
but that was
Oh
probably
my
my most
goodness.
traumatic school story, is getting my tooth busted out in 6th grade on a brick wall. It was,
That's crazy.
Yeah, that would be a traumatic
that-
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it wasn't
yeah.
fun. It was the middle of
Yeah.
winter, and it was outside, so you know that
Yeah.
cold air hitting it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
So to this day, I can still feel how painful
Yeah.
it was. And
oh my
Exposed
God.
nerves hanging
Ouch.
out.
remember just crying. And my parents were
Yeah.
divorced, and my mom worked 2 jobs, so she wasn't home until like 9 o'clock most nights. I remember calling her, and I was just in tears, thinking I was gonna be in so much trouble.
Yeah.
Like, Mom, I broke my tooth, and she's
Yeah.
like, what?
Yeah.
I'm like, my tooth, it's gone. Like,
Yeah.
I had it. I'm holding it. Like, we found it in the snow. We just followed the blood trail.
That's
That
hilarious.
is wild.
Follow the red to find the white.
Yep.
Oh,
Oh my
So
gosh.
traumatic as a teacher, I don't think I've had anything super scary, but
Or like, yeah, I'm
kids
thinking.
throwing up in class
Yeah.
is kind of traumatic. But
Yeah.
I did lose a kid once after school. It wasn't my fault. But that's scary.
Yeah.
'Cause we had
Yeah.
it this year with just like a week ago with a little 1st grader walked
Yeah.
off from her
Yeah.
brother, and we were like scrambling to find her. So
Yeah.
those are like probably the most traumatic for me, is when like a kid's lost somewhere, and I'm like, oh no. Even if it's
Yeah.
not mine, it's like all hands
Yeah.
on deck.
Oh, 100%.
So
yeah, we had that
Yeah.
with one of your students.
Dude, elopers are the
They were like-
scariest.
They've been gone. And I just started hitting all the
Yeah.
hot spots where they'd be.
Yeah.
Turned out he was hanging out in the bathroom, but still, you just like
Yeah.
that moment of like,
There was a
Crap.
kid, I think before you guys came, yeah, because it wasn't this year, obviously. But he would run and then he would go into a bathroom, but he would sit up on the toilet with his feet up, so you couldn't like look under and see him in the stall, and he's just like completely hiding.
that's scary.
Yeah.
You know, I had a student this year, always, little kindergartner, who'd come in my room, play hide and seek. I'm like, no, we're not playing hide and seek. Don't go hiding on me.
no, please.
I think
don't.
you played hide and seek with
I
him once.
did it one day and then you said no. I'm like, "Ah, yeah, that was a really bad idea. Never again. We really can't do that.
He was like, Miss B. I'm like, you and Miss B do what you and Miss B need to do, but
That's so
Yeah.
funny.
She's got a smaller room than I do.
I'll say if it's just in the room, I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As like some sort of reward or like way
Yeah.
to get them focused.
Yeah.
Like, I
Yep.
don't think. But like we're not playing a school wide.
School life that would be crazy.
All right, here's the boundary.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was. I love that kid.
That's awesome.
We also don't have to go on those
Yeah.
questions in order. That was like
Well, and
just
like I
coming
feel
out
like
of my brain.
we're hitting a lot of the stuff.
Yeah.
I want to share a quick story, kind of about the favorite thing about teaching,
Perfect.
and I would say my favorite thing about teaching is sometimes being wrong. You had a student this year that I saw, and in the first couple weeks I had him in the room. I remember telling you guys, I'm like, this guy's gonna be give me a run. Like I'm gonna have a rough year with him, and I was like geared up every day, and I don't even know why. Like I just had that mindset, and like was real, thumb down on him. And about I don't know 3 weeks in, I don't even remember what happened, but I was like, all right, you just need a little bit of hard loving. Like
Yeah.
not even like just a hard thumb, just like somebody to say, come here, buddy. Like you're gonna do this because I care about you. And that our relationship, his and I's relationship, changed for the so much better. And no longer was I like, oh no, they're coming down. It was more like, he's still come in. I'm like, all right, let's come in a little bit quieter. But I was excited to get him, and I like one of my more emotional goodbyes this last week was to him because
Was he the one that was like sobbing?
no,
Okay.
that was another guy.
I was like, that doesn't sound
No,
like him.
this
His
who I'm
bestie.
yeah, who I'm talking about. He says he's moving away, and
Oh.
I was like, you need to keep working hard, and
Yeah.
just keep your nose clean, and so being wrong actually was a good thing because, and being able to, I feel like I'm patting myself back, but I think being able to realize like, oh, I misjudged,
Yep.
and re-evaluating and reapproaching that, and I think giving those kids grace and room to be themselves and meet them where they're at, not like when you're in here, this is exactly how you have to
Right.
like. There's certain rules and guidelines we all follow, but the individualism,
But the adaptability
Yeah.
from the teacher, yeah.
yeah. So that was
Right.
one of my favorite things this year.
I would agree with that a lot. I had a girl last year in 5th grade. In the first 2 weeks I went home and told Becca, I was like, she is going to be a problem. She missed the first few days of school last year. So when she came, it was like, I'm here.
Oh,
Hey,
yeah,
everybody.
yeah.
And we're already flowing because we're day number 5 and in 5th grade, we're moving fast.
Yeah.
You guys know what we're doing. Here's 3 days of what I'm expecting. And now we're teaching subjects, and I'm still teaching procedures and routines, but we're in academics already.
Yeah.
And she comes in and she's like, summer. And I was
Yeah.
like, all right, that's not happening. We're
Yeah.
done. We're done. You missed all that. So
Yeah.
the first few days with her, I was going home and I'm like, oh my gosh, this girl. And then by the end of the year, didn't want to see her go. Had a great relationship with her and her sister and mom. It was hard to say goodbye to her. Which I don't say goodbye to my students. They know this. It's never goodbye. It's always until next time is what I write
Yeah.
on all their letters I give them every year. But it was hard on 5th grade celebration last year to know that I wasn't going to see her every day. Because from December on, we were best. I loved that girl. She was great. But the first week or so, I was like, oh no, she's not going to do well in here. She is not going to like me.
Yeah.
I have kind of a question. So you do a good job of getting out and about and meeting kids kind of as they get up to 5th grade, but I'm sure there are always the kids that you're oh, when this kid gets to you, you hear everybody's horror stories. Do you find that you do those kids do well with you? I feel like you're a person that really gives everybody a clean slate. Have you had anything where you've really been able to turn a kid around?
I don't know if I turn them around or if I just let them like he was saying, it's not like my classroom.
Yeah.
I let them be themselves a little bit, and I feel like that's where you're gonna get the most out of them. There was a girl. She was, I don't even know what grade anymore. I think she was an 8th grader this year, but when she was in 4th grade, I remember her coming to 5th grade, and a bunch of the teachers were like, "Oh, watch out for her. A lot of problems. Da da da." the whole spiel. But
Yeah.
like you said, I'm going to make my own assumptions about you. I don't listen to background chatter. I never have in my life,
Yeah.
whether it's friends or whoever. Like, just because you don't like somebody doesn't mean I have to not like them. Like,
Yeah.
we can be friends. We can be friends. You two don't have to be friends.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's my choice. So when this girl came up, I was like, all right, well, this is the one whatever. She's amazing. Like, she was amazing all year. Her academics were low, but she was a great person. I see her all the time. Her sister's still at our school now, and her sister runs up to me, and me and her sister have our own handshake because I usually have a handshake with all my students every year. And so her little sister has a handshake already.
That's awesome.
And she was amazing. So I've had a couple where they're like, watch out for this kid, but I don't listen to it anymore. As soon as I hear teachers like starting to say that, I usually just walk away from the conversation. Like, we'll see what they do up here.
Yeah.
Like fifth grade's a different beast anyways. Our academics
100%.
bump up.
Yeah.
Like fifth grade academics are a big jump up from fourth grade. And we're also preparing them for middle school, where yes, I understand they're still in elementary, but next year they're going to like be full on with all this brand new independence.
Yeah.
And so if we don't give them a little independence in fifth grade, it's going to be like a shell shock next year.
Yeah.
So I feel like we are always, and I don't know if we do it perfect, probably not, but trying to balance, like, you guys need to be independent a little bit, because I tell them every year, like, I'm not going to tell you what to write down for notes. I will tell you to get your notebooks out, but you're in charge of your own learning. I'm here to teach. I can't make you learn.
Yeah.
Your job is to learn. My job is to teach. So you need to get your notebooks out. And if you think it's important, I'll tell them, like, names, dates. I would always write those down. But by the time we're in like October, November, December, I'm not stopping. I'm like, all right, you guys should be writing this down. Like, I have a bunch of stuff written. Whatever you think you should write down, you should write down. It's your learning. Whatever's going to help you. I don't know.
But that just sets them up for so much success, even in middle school, and then just
Yeah.
their further schooling. It gives them so much more independence and responsibility that you do not get in the lower grades of elementary. So it
No.
is necessary, even though it is hard sometimes with some students. They need it too.
And then, so I feel like I'm doing the right thing. And then sometimes I look at their tests and I'm like, I wrote that down on the board like 3 days in a row. How do you not have this
How are you
information?
still not
How do you-
recalling it?
Right.
But I think it's important to like let them fail. Like in my room on a very different scale, but like we have adults, so many adults in there to my kids, and it's like, yeah, it's a lot easier for you to take their backpack and put it on the hook. But if you're not there, then who's putting that backpack on the hook?
Exactly.
And so like a lot lower of a skill, but same concept.
Same.
Like you have to let them flounder a little bit so they can learn how to swim their own way.
It's like the Home Alone, like pack my own suitcase.
Yeah.
100%.
Not me still making my husband pack my suitcase.
I do a thing, not every time, but most of the time I try to, with like our progress monitoring we do. If one of my kids does like really good, I'll be like, hey, what did you do different? Or vice versa. If they like bomb it, I'm like, what do you think the reason is? I try to make them own it.
Yep.
Own their success and own their failures and as such. And I had one student at the end of this year, 4th grader. When me and so listen, we do better. I'm like, wow,
Shocker.
look at that. And I think he continued that day, like not listening to me. And I brought it up, I'm like, you told me from your own mouth, you do better when you listen. And he was like, yeah. But yeah, I like that ownership. Beth and I had to have meetings with all the middle schools just about a month ago or so, and all of our kids transitioning up, and they were asking questions about them, and they were explaining to us how it all went, and it was like, wow, they're entering a new world. There's a lot of independence. So
Yeah, just completely different from what they're experiencing now. Like, even the way their days are structured, it is, yeah, completely different for them.
it was tough. We were like giving all the information. We're like, take care of our babies. Like, we're
Yeah.
sending you our kids.
We're like, they're really good. You just got to get to know them.
Yeah.
Like, you just
Yeah.
got to love them and get to know them. And then they will be so amazing. You will really see the most from them.
That's what I always get nervous about with all middle school. It's like, I don't have those problems in my classroom. So I don't know why you guys are all of a sudden saying Irving kids are doing this, Irving kids are doing
Yeah.
that. because we don't see that. So maybe it's a you problem, not a them problem.
Yeah.
Maybe instead of just letting kids run wild in the bathroom, you should just put someone on bathroom detail.
Yeah.
Like,
For real.
if there's always fights and always vaping and all these problems in the bathroom, why don't you have an adult by the bathroom and say, nope, we already got 5 kids in there, no one else until
100%.
Preventative instead of reactive.
like that. I was just talking at dinner the other night with our neighbors, and I'm like, yeah, they're always reactive in this district. They're never proactive with anything. It's always, oh, we have a problem. Well, how do you not see the problem coming?
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
These are problem areas.
you guys are downtown. You're supposed to be like looking out for the problems, not.
Yeah.
But
You're holding that thought.
Yeah.
What's up?
I just had another question, but if we can wait till this topic fully ends, that's just why I was holding.
Oh no,
it.
you're.
So like when we were setting
does
up,
this really help you remember?
yeah,
She does.
I like hold the thought.
See, my brain's so squirrely. I'd be like,
Yeah.
why is my hand like that?
Yeah, no, I don't know. I can like visually put the thought there.
I just love how different people work. 'Cause,
Yeah.
like, you'll remember,
Yeah.
and me, I'd
Yeah.
do this, and then like 3 minutes later, I'd be like, what am I doing?
We had to start it because we all really interrupt each other, and so I'll be like,
Oh.
I'll hold the
I'll
thought.
see her in the back of the room one
Yeah.
day, and just like, oh, she's
I fit in
Yeah.
perfect because I'm horrible at interrupting
Yeah.
people.
But so like when we were setting up the interview with you, you were like, oh, after school's out, I like don't check my school email, and like it seems like you have a pretty good work-life balance. Were there any strategies that like helped you get that way, or did you automatically start teaching with like a super healthy work-life balance?
No, I struggled at first. I used to have email on my phone. I think that was the first step for me, was getting email off my phone.
Oh,
Because as soon as something would come through, I would check it, no matter if it was 9 at night, 10 at night. And it affected me with my wife and my kids, because sometimes we'd be watching like a family movie. And then Becca would be like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm checking an email. She's like, seriously? They pay you 5 cents an hour. Why are you checking your email at 9 o'clock at night?
yes.
And like, I love you, Irving. That was a Sioux City Schools. Probably not.
Yeah. Go Hawks.
And yes, I get paid more than 5 cents an hour. But
Yes.
anyways, they're not paying me at 9 o'clock
Right.
at night to check my email.
Right.
So that was the first step. And then, yeah, just kind of like, I try to do it with my phone in general. My phone in general, like when I get home, I try not to have it around me.
Yeah.
Like it sits, my kids will ask me, and Becca will ask me, that's my wife, Becca, and they'll ask me, like, where's your phone? I'm like, I don't know, out there somewhere.
Yeah.
I try not to be around it until the kids go to bed at like 8:30 or 9 o'clock, and then I'll like do whatever I want to do, like check scores or whatever.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's helped a lot. And then my kids are busy right now. When they were younger and we were just like sitting on the couch watching Bluey a lot or whatever,
Yeah.
it was a lot harder not to check emails. But getting that email off the phone was the first thing. And then just trying to be in the moment, you know, like live in the moment of right now I'm playing outside with the kids. I don't care about work. Right now I'm making dinner with my wife. I don't care about work. But 8 o'clock on Monday morning, my kids are where they're supposed to be and my wife's where she's supposed to be. And now here I am focused on work. And I'll work outside of 8 to 3:40 if I'm getting paid, or if it's like something I feel like I helped develop the class schedules for next year because I feel like that was important. I have no problem doing that if it's planned and like I'm going to get paid and there's a purpose. But as far as like the random checking of an email or the random answering text messages, like I don't need to do that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I've been around different districts and buildings, and to our principal's credit, both our principal and assistant, they're so good about not reaching out outside. That has a caveat. Deemer will email it like in the middle of the night because that's just how she is. But
Yes.
she's not expecting a response.
Yeah.
Like,
But
that's
at like
just-
1 in the morning, you'll get
Yeah.
an email.
Yeah. 100%.
yeah.
Go to bed, Deemer.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm like, oh, she had something on her mind. And I think one time she told me, she's like, did I send you an email? I said, no. She goes, fell asleep on the couch typing that out. So
You also basically got to like, we need to talk email in the middle of the night, didn't you?
yes. And then that was the one she like fell asleep and didn't give me the follow-up.
Yeah.
She's like, I never wanted to leave you hanging like that. That's my bad. I was
He's like freaking out in the morning. He's
Yeah.
like, what's happening?
it was something, I don't remember what it was. It was so small. It was like a
Guys, I'm
little
getting
question.
fired today.
yeah. I think I told you to ask her.
I did. I replied with an email. I said, sounds great. What time works? By the way, I'm not getting fired, right? Yeah, no, that she was like, I'm so sorry. I never want people to worry about that kind of thing. But
Well,
it's
no,
just-
they're really good about it. I've told Maria for years, like, you can text and call me all the time, like, whenever you need me, like, because I won't check my email over the summer. Like,
Yeah.
maybe once I'll check my email, but really, I'm not going to check it. So if you
Yeah.
need me in the summer, you should call me or text me.
Yeah.
And then, like, Deemer, we're good friends with her and her husband. And, like, even when my daughter had a thing come up at school, she called me from the school number, like, as a parent. And I'm like, oh, that's very, very professional.
Very
respectful.
Respectful.
Yeah.
Like,
Structured.
Yeah.
to me, I would have just been like, hey,
yeah.
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 No.
This happened.
Yeah.
I feel like that is a good norm across our school as a community, is they really don't try to encourage you to work outside those contract hours. Like, they know how important it is for you to have the separation, for you to bring your best in during that work time and school time with the kids.
Yeah.
yeah, they've always had my back, like, my whole career.
They're
With that, or taking time off, or anything, really. If
Yeah.
I send kids to the office, they're always like,
So supportive.
it's always been super. And that was with Dr. Bradford as well. Before Deemer was our assistant, it was Dr. Bradford, and she was the same way. So it's one of the reasons I've always stayed at Irving.
Yeah, the culture there is awesome.
Yeah, I think I've shared with you guys, but my goal coming into this year was to wait out until a position came open at Sergeant Bluff. It's where my wife teaches, and I was like, that's where I need to be. I coach there. Positions came open at the end of the, like when they come open with March, and it was like a 2-minute conversation with my wife, and I was like, I'm not applying. I am thrilled to death where I'm at. I love the culture in our building, in the SPED team, and we talked one pod how you were like, I didn't really get out. Me, I was like, first week, I'm gonna go down to kindergarten pod, and I'd see a couple kindergarten teachers I didn't know. I'd walk in and be like, hey, what's going on?
Yeah.
I'm Tyler. That's just how I am social. But we usually end with remembering why. I feel like this conversation has been all about your why, and kind of, in a way, carrying on that legacy of, was it Dr. Rogers?
Dr. Rogers.
Yeah. I met him one time. He was reffing a kid's basketball game.
Yeah, he was a good basketball player.
Yeah. And the way that you explained him as a principal was exactly how he reffed game. He taught the game through controlling the game, and was, and then of course all the stories. I don't know if you've lived in Sioux City any amount of time and haven't heard about Dr. Rogers.
Yeah, he was West Middle, and then he was like elementary somewhere. Then I think he was in South Sioux a little while, and then he was at East Middle. I think that's where he finished, was East Middle.
I heard
Because his brother, or no, not his brother, his kids played sports with like my siblings.
Oh, okay.
Well, like with my brother, and then like around the same age as my sister.
I think I remember hearing a story. The district moved him from one building to another. In the building he was leaving, those teachers were like horribly upset and sad.
Yeah.
And I can imagine having leadership like that. So
That'd be like them moving Maria from
Yeah.
us.
I
Like,
know.
Yeah.
The thing that keeps me where we are is Maria and Rachel.
100%.
And so, like, I love the culture of the building. I love the families. Now that I've been there so long, like, I know a lot of the families. But if I ever, which is what I tell Becca, like, if Maria and Rachel ever got left, or the day that Roelis retires, we'll have to see who takes over, and that could definitely impact
yeah.
the future of where I proceed to be.
Yeah.
That's how like the VBC program ended up at Irving. Was like my now coach was like, okay, yeah, like we can have you do it. And I was like, I would love to do it if I can stay at Irving. I was like, there's no way. It makes no sense for like my program to be in a dual language like building. But I was like, I am not gonna leave. Like they are so supportive and so helpful.
Yeah. Yep. And I feel like the culture of our building as a whole is a huge testament to the leaders.
Oh
of our
yeah,
building.
and they ensure like when they're hiring people that like people will mesh and like fit what they want, and are super upfront. Like when I was interviewing for all my paras, they were like, well, you need to be comfortable with like other languages being like spoken around you and everything like that.
Yeah, I think that was the biggest shock to the system for me when I started at Irving. With not the languages, like I was expecting that. I thought it was going to be a lot more students like my children that were there to learn Spanish.
Yeah.
And then after like my first couple of years, I was like, it's the total opposite.
Yeah.
This program's really for like a lot of like students speaking
Mm-hmm.
something else for a second language or for a first language, and then learning English as a
Yeah.
second language.
For
And
sure.
I had never, whenever I thought of dual language or anything, it was always, oh, it's for kids to learn Spanish or kids to
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
learn whatever. But it's like total 180 from what I thought it was.
100%.
And then I've been to like New Mexico where they have the same program, and it seemed like it was similar there, where it was a lot of kids learning English. And then this last year I went to Atlanta, and I went to it was Japanese,
Oh wow.
and it was
Oh,
like 50-50.
cool.
Like 50 of them were there to learn Japanese, and then there was a lot of Japanese students that were learning English.
That's
that'd be
so
cool.
interesting.
It was a really cool school.
Yeah. That's
Really
so
cool school.
That'd
And
be
I felt like our students, I walked into a room and they let us interact in this room, and I sat down, these two boys are there, and I sat down, I'm like, so, or it was math. So
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I can do math.
Yeah.
All right, what are we working on, guys? And they start speaking to me in Japanese, and I just, like Spanish, I
Yeah,
can
like
pick
pick
up,
up
I
a
can
little bit,
interact,
yeah.
but deer in the headlight,
Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's
have no
crazy.
idea what to say
Yeah.
to you right
Yeah.
now.
Yep.
So
Oh,
it
that's
was
completely different.
deer in the headlights, like, oh, this is how my students feel that I
Yeah.
get, like,
Yeah, that's wild.
because every year I have newcomers, 2 or 3 of them that have been in America for a very short
Yeah.
time. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, this is how they feel when I'm up here rambling
Yeah.
about the volume of this
Yeah.
composite figure. And
Yeah.
they're like, what is this guy on?
And it was really
So
eye-opening
good.
to me too. It's like not all of our family speak Spanish at home, so like they're really learning like 2 different languages.
Yeah, which is what I always tell all of our friends, like me and Becca's friend groups, because they're like very uneducated on like the dual language program or Irving in general. Because when you speak to some people, it seems like Irving has that rep of, oh, that's like the bad kids and blah blah blah. And I'm like, we don't have those problems.
No.
Like yes, we have kids that act up. Yes, we
Yeah.
have kids, but it's not like I'm hiding my wallet and
No, very
No.
like very respectful kids.
my wallet
honestly.
sits out all the time. And
Yeah.
I'm like,
Was I talking to you? I was talking to somebody, and I said, comparing districts I've been to, our bad behaviors are not that bad in comparison. Like
no.
the respect, there's a lot of respect.
High respect.
Yes.
Yeah.
High
Very
respect. At the end of the year, I got like 5 messages from parents on talking points, like thanking me for like the year. And one of them lives down the street from me now. And she's like, whenever you're walking your dog by, if you see us outside grilling, come by and have some carne with us. And I was like, well, for one, careful with that invite.
Yeah, sign me up, please.
That's a dangerous invite to
Yeah.
give me and my wife, because we're like Hispanic food all
Yeah.
the time.
Yes,
Every
yes.
time.
Yeah, it's after IEP meetings and stuff, there's so much jargon that we have to spill out. And then, of course, it's being translated. And I always just look at the parent, I'm like, that's a lot of information. And their biggest point is just, thank you for teaching my kid. Like, that's where I kind of got to with them. I got to share the legal stuff. But at the end of the day, at those IEP meetings, I'm like, we're teaching your child. We're loving them up. We want to get them to where they need to be, and we'll do whatever it takes. And that's, I think, ultimately what 99% of parents want to hear.
Right. Yeah. The respect, that word you threw out there, it's everywhere with the parents.
Oh yeah.
And I've never really taught anywhere else. I student taught at Perry Creek, but I've never taught anywhere else. But anytime I've called, I've never had a parent that I've called in my 8 years where I've been looking for like support over their student misbehaving. Have they ever come at me? It's every time it's been that I'll talk to them right now. That won't happen
Yeah.
anymore. I'll
Yeah.
talk to them. And then at conferences too, that's always like the number one question through the interpreter, or whether they're speaking to me, is how are they behaving in class? Are they being
Yes.
respectful to you and their peers? Are they? And that's always like the number one question, which matches my teaching philosophy perfect, because I'm trying to build relationships and have that like family culture in my room. And then the academics we can talk about in a little bit, but like let's take care of this
Yeah.
first,
Yep.
because that's going to be their life.
Yes. Yeah. All the other stuff.
Let me make sure you can be a positive human interacting with others before we try to push anything else onto it. Your turn.
Oh, my turn. Okay. I don't know. I froze. Sorry.
It caught my attention too. So
Did we talk about
shit.
favorite self-care?
No.
No, but let's do it.
Yeah, let's go.
Oh, asking us.
I want everyone to share this one, yeah. Because maybe I'll pick up on something that I should be doing.
You know, if I'm not in coaching season, because I coach basketball and soccer, those are self-care.
You coach basketball too?
Yeah.
Women's or men's?
Assistant high school girls at
Okay.
Hard to Bluff. Yep. Yeah, I was out at a golfing deal, and this guy I know, he got offered the head coaching position. I go, hey, congratulations. He goes, hey, thanks. I'm looking for assistants. Want to help? And I was like, yeah, sure. He's like, for real? I was like, okay, sure. I saw it as a pathway to my girls in soccer. Get to know more girls. But no, this will be next school year will be my third year. Yeah.
Third year.
But it's in coaching season. I like the coaching, getting out. But I also have, I'll play like 30 minutes of video games sometimes.
Yeah.
Just like I can't dive into games like I did when I was younger. I get bored. But sometimes just a quick decompress, playing a little college football or something. So, yeah.
We're going to have to get together on college football.
Oh, yeah?
I play that, yeah.
Yeah. The new one's coming out here a little bit.
That would be cool.
Yeah. Self-care.
Oh, me. Sorry.
I was going to make a really bad joke. I'm so glad I composed myself.
We typically are. I would say I like to learn a lot of new hobbies. I have a lot of hobbies already.
Is that right, Mike?
Yeah. Right now, what is
Not
it
Mike
right
Whitlock,
now?
husband Mike.
Right.
Oh, I got a sewing machine. But yeah, I would say like learning a new hobby, a new like skill, because then it makes me feel good about myself. But if I'm bad at it, I immediately quit it, and it goes to the doom pile. And like maybe in a couple months I'll try again.
We're going to learn how to use laser cutters.
Yeah, when is that coming in?
Tariffs.
That's gonna be fun.
Anyway,
That's going to be fun.
and then I really like to rewatch Law and Order SVU. That's like my comfort show. Like if I have a bad day, I'm going under a weighted blanket and watching SVU.
Nice.
Those are good. If I were choosing healthy options,
No, just say any.
this year for teaching, I had no good self-care or coping, and so I did drink a lot.
What was your second job you had all year?
Well, I was a bartender,
Yeah.
and so that didn't help.
Yeah.
It just got me off on the wrong foot. But then on top of not having any way to actually deal with the stress of first year teaching, I did drink a lot. But I was fully aware that that was not healthy and not something that
But
can be
you
kept
were
up
still like a functional teacher.
with. And yeah,
You
I was
know?
still very.
Yeah.
Oh,
I did
first
my job.
year that I talked about with 34 kids, you can
Yeah.
ask my wife. Hi, Becca. Many nights she would come home and I'd be on like my second glass of whiskey, maybe third even.
Yeah.
She'd be like, oh, good day, huh? And I'm like, it is now.
Yeah.
It is
One of
now.
those,
We're
yep.
good now.
Yep.
So I think you're in the norm of
Yeah.
12-ounce curls. You definitely pick up in first year of teaching. Yeah.
Love that 12-ounce curls.
But I will say on Thursday nights is when all new music drops on Apple Music. And so that was something that also picked me up for the next week. I just got to listen to all new stuff from different artists. It got me listening to all new music.
I feel like, you were a really big, like, music person.
You went on walks.
Yeah, I was going to say just being outside just chills me out. And that is like a reset for my brain. Just getting outside, even if it's for 10 minutes to an hour. It just,
Tell my students that. Get out, exercise. I'd say that's number one for me. Self-care is exercising. I go to the gym. I've been doing like boxing, jiu-jitsu, like MMA,
Ooh, fun.
wrestling, jiu-jitsu,
Yeah.
all that. I've done that. I've done jiu-jitsu and wrestling for like the last 12, 13, 14 years, something like that.
That's so cool.
Boxing when I was a kid and then picked it up. And now lately, like the last 3 years, I've been doing like MMA rounds a
Okay.
couple times a week. Never will get in a cage, but it's fun to do. I got a good couple of guys I've known for like 12 years, so it's a lot of
super
fun.
cool.
And then they get going on their fight camps, and it helps me like lock in. I'm like at work, then I go to the gym, and it's all about fight camp.
Yeah.
That's
and like
awesome.
whole not thinking about work at all, not thinking about anything, not my own kids' problems, nothing, just focusing. So I'd say that, and then playing video games. And I sacrifice sleep on the weekends a lot. And
Yeah.
I'll stay up in my basement till like 2 a.m. playing video games or watching movies and
What do you play besides college football?
FIFA.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of FIFA.
My brothers love FIFA.
Animal
FIFA.
Crossings? Anyone?
Nope. Miss Aparicio used to play that a lot, though.
Yeah.
So I used to play Fortnite with Miss Aparicio and Mr. Hendricks. And then
Oh, really?
we used to play Fortnite all the time. And then Benson, my son, who's in 6th grade, he was our 4th.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
When he was in like 2nd,
That's
3rd grade, he used to be
awesome.
our 4th.
That's awesome.
And so we used to wreck people. And
Yeah.
now we don't ever, I haven't played Fortnite in probably 6 months. I don't play anymore, really. But
You played some this year.
Oh, the first, like, up until about 3-4 months ago, my brother and his wife, we'd run trios. And, like, it was nightly. I'd come to school next day
Yeah,
and
you'd be like, "Where we dropping,
Yeah.
boys?"
I'm like, I played about 2. They made me stay up late. I sacrificed sleep for that. I'm like,
I used to play so much. I used to be really good, but I played Call of Duty for years.
Yeah.
So then when I started playing Fortnite, I was like, oh, this is like the easier version of Call of Duty.
Yeah.
That's Call of Duty's probably still ranked play is what I play a lot of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The visuals on Call of Duty always made me, I don't know if it was because of my concussions or just my vision, but it made me like literally dizzy. I could not play Call of Duty that well.
Call of
Fortnite
Duty
I was
or
better.
Like when you get like the concussion grenade and everything would go all like,
That's like, no, not again.
PTSD,
Not again.
no.
I don't know, like
Been dropped
even
off the
when I was
pyramid too
trying
many
to,
times.
like, run around, I could not. The visuals were just, I guess, really good on the game.
how many concussions have we had?
I've had 5. All from gymnastics and cheer.
I don't know how many I've had. I remember my first one. I don't remember it, but I remember like the day was 4th grade, and I went up for a rebound at recess, and I got undercut. And I remember waking up on the playground with a teacher in my face. They're like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
And it was like, you know, the late 1900s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there was no brain.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I like got up and they're like, "Are you good?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah, I think I'm fine." And they're like, "All right, see ya." And I just went back to playing and had a headache for like 4 days and no one said anything, you know.
Yep.
Just-
And then you move on.
Kid just smashed his head on the concrete.
Yeah.
You're just gonna put him right back
Casual.
out there.
You can't ask him that. True or false? The man's
Yeah.
holding up numbers. True? Varsity Blues?
Yep.
Yeah. Guys,
That's awesome.
no.
No.
No. It was funny when you said it.
Big guy gets hit in the head. And he's like, how many fingers? And he's like, no. You got to ask him. Hey, Bubba, the guy's holding up fingers. True or false? And he's like, true? He's like, oh, he's good.
He's good to play.
Got my cat
It's
scanned.
fine. No more questions.
Good
Got
go.
my cat scanned.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Well,
you want to
yeah.
present the...
you get your very
Da-da-da-da.
own Gaggle approved member of the Silly Goose Teacher Club shirt.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, personalized with your name. The only way to get this shirt is by being on the podcast. But our merch is live on AshleyRayMakesThings.com, or if you go to our website and click the link for merch.
Ashley, what?
Ray Makes Things.
Your middle name's Ray?
Yeah,
How do we spell?
R-A-E.
Yeah, that's my mom's. Yeah.
Cool, small world.
Yeah. And then another student in 5th grade this year, that was her middle name. So she told me that.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, that's my mom's. I've never met
awesome.
anyone. And now 2
What?
people in the same year.
And my niece's middle name is Ray.
Yeah.
Are you guys, you and your niece, named after like a family member?
Yeah, my grandma.
Okay.
But my grandma's name is Della Ray. It's not, but like, we all call her Della, but like, her actual name is Della Ray, not
Okay.
like Della Ray.
Ray. Gotcha.
Not Delray like Lena either.
Right.
Well, this has been great.
Yeah,
I love the
good.
name origins like all
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
kids have. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Joe is our big...
Joe?
Is your middle name Joe?
No.
Her Joe.
She
Oh,
was just talking about Joe.
sorry. Yeah, no.
I thought that's what you're talking about.
No, like my family's name origin, like my daughter's middle name is Joe.
Oh.
There's like 7 of us.
My dad's middle name is Van, but it's supposed to be like Von because there's like a Von Hohenstein castle somewhere in Germany.
Sounds
But
like
then
Dracula.
when they spelled it, they did VAN, like
Just
the
van.
car, van.
My father-in-law is retired, has been for some years, and his hobby is
Castles?
no ancestry. I can't think of
Oh.
the
Oh,
Yeah.
the 23andMe?
kind of. But he's got this whole other program that's not like a mainstream program.
It's like, because they just sold, I think.
Yeah,
Oh, really?
Yeah.
he has 23,000 family members found.
Oh, jeez.
And like he doesn't just like go in there and find them. Like he goes and gets like finds out where their gravestones are and tries to find his. He just showed me a month ago his furthest back. He has one of his family lines to like the late 1300s
That's crazy.
as a person in the castle with like King Henry III or something like that.
That's
Wow.
wild.
Yeah, he like has a network of people worldwide and like finds the gravestones, gets pictures, imports them into the database.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Wow.
But he says a lot of those like names when they came over got misspelled or
Yeah.
mispronounced, and then they just changed
Yeah.
as they went. So
That's interesting. My family's name would be May, like my daughter. That's the one that was my grandma's middle name, my great grandma's first name, and like goes on.
Yep.
So, and MAE. We're not. Never mind. Can't make. Can I make jokes like that on that?
Yeah.
I don't know. So we're not raising strippers, okay? We
Yeah.
don't name them after months and flowers, okay?
Yeah.
We're not
I
naming them
love
after that. So
I
MAE.
love that.
You
No.
can't double as anything else.
No, like our first
This has actually been, I think, the most
the cleanest.
appropriate.
Our
Yeah.
first 3 minutes of our very first podcast, she's dropping F-bombs, and I'm apologizing to the principals. I'm like, if you ever watch this, I told Deemer that, and she's
Yeah.
like, educators swear to.
I was going to go off the
Yeah.
track early, and I'm
Yeah.
like, keep it together, Mike. Keep it
It's
together.
hard.
Her self-care, I was going to be like, what, flipping through photos of
Yeah.
Hugh Jackman and Mr. Gomez, or what?
Yes, she's got a file,
Yes.
Hugh/Gomez
it has
file,
a super secret password.
On the really bad days.
secret file.
Let's be real. My mic is looking at the Hugh Jackman ones with
Oh,
me.
yeah.
Yeah, and
That's
your
awesome.
singer that's hanging up in your wall.
Tate McRae is a very beautiful woman. Let's just be real. And in October, when I go to the concert, will Mike have a wife anymore? I don't know.
Will you come back? Will you
TBD. I have a girl crush. It's okay.
There's nothing wrong with that.
All right.
My wife's big. Oh, sorry. are we
No,
done?
no.
My wife's big crush is Idris Elba.
I don't know who that is.
Yeah, no, Idris Elba. He plays what's his name from Thor? He's the gatekeeper. Hemdall
Oh,
Okay.
he's a good-looking dude.
Yeah.
with the like blue eyes. or
Yeah.
whatever. Whenever he's on TV, she's like, "You might be divorcing." I'm like, "That's fine."
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
fine.
That'd be a valid one for
Yeah.
her. Yeah, I could see it. Oh,
Mine was always Ava Mendes. That's why I don't like Ryan Gosling.
Mine early on was for
That's
a long
valid.
time Jessica Simpson.
Jessica Simpson.
both very pretty. Yeah.
I'm looking up Ava Mendes.
Yeah, I don't know who that is. I mean, I probably
It's
would
been
if I
more
like saw a
recently.
picture of them, but
Mine has always been like Channing Tatum, Zac Efron.
Oh, Zac Efron. Can you believe that they rabbit hole time? This is how the brain works.
Yeah.
Yep.
Every time I listen to Greatest Showman, I'm like, can you believe those clowns on High School Musical didn't think his voice was good enough? Because
yeah,
on the
yeah.
first High School Musical, it's not his voice.
Right, right.
Wait,
Fucks don't know what they're
What?
doing here. Yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe that was his Michael Jordan moment, getting
Yeah.
cut from
yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know
team,
that.
huh?
They voiced
Yeah.
over his singing?
yeah.
Yeah, it was some other kid who sang for him, and now he's out here
Yeah.
Yeah.
dominating, but,
Still
It's
going.
crazy.
it was his
Yeah,
Jordan moment
yeah.
is what I tell Becca.
Yeah.
Like, he needed that to
Yeah.
happen
Yeah.
Yep.
to
Needed
go
to get
work on it.
humbled.
But
Yeah.
Wow.
He was an icon.
And now, that was just in the first one? So in the second one or whatever, where he's running up and down the golf course?
Bet on it.
That's
Bet
it.
it was him again,
Okay.
which I didn't watch High School Musical. That was like, I was too old when
Yeah.
that came out. So I didn't watch it until like I had May a couple years ago. We watched it. I'm like, that's not his voice.
Yeah.
And so then I went down the rabbit hole of
I did not know that.
why.
And see, that movie was like iconic in
Yes.
my childhood. We would have like a huge slumber party for all the new releases.
My friend had a High School Musical 3 birthday party, and we all went to like the showing when it first came out.
You know, in Greatest Showman, the singer that he takes out on tour,
It's not her voice.
it's not her voice. The actual singer went out on America's Got Talent, and they were like, "Oh, have you sung before?" She's like, "Yeah, it was actually the singer of, I forget that song." They're like,
Never
"What?"
Enough.
Never enough.
I always skip it because it's too sad, and none of us, like me and Mike, can't hit the notes, so then it's always just really bad.
Sounds of gold.
A really random part of that movie that me and my family quote: "She's at the beach," when he comes back to find her,
Yeah.
and they come running down the stairs. She's at the beach. That's just our thing. Really, yeah.
That's I quote any Harry Potter fans around here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the Goblet of Fire when what's his name dies?
Cedric.
Twilight Boy
Yeah.
dies. Twilight Boy dies.
Twilight Boy.
I always quote that all the time at home. Like, that's my boy. That's my son. Becca's like, it's the saddest part of the movie. I'm like, it's horrible.
It's the worst.
It's horrible. That's my boy.
Mike and I are always doing the like, Ron, no! He's gonna sacrifice himself.
You have to do it, Harry. It's so dramatic.
Not Ron, not Hermione, you.
That was good. She's got a good accent over there.
We do that one a lot.
There's
Or like
a new-
we'll pick up sticks and like every stick.
I guess you are a Harry Potter fan.
Well, Mike's family has a whole Harry Potter decorated room. And so we've been to Universal, I don't even know how many times, to like Harry Potter World and everything.
We went to both, me and Becca have been to the one in Florida and California.
I want to go to the California one mainly because we want to go to Disneyland for their like Marvel part. We are huge Marvel fans.
Yeah, so Mr. Hendricks got married out there
Oh, cool.
like 2 summers ago because his wife's from Ventura.
Mm-hmm.
Ventura, yeah. So we have family in Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, story time. So we flew into Vegas,
Yeah.
and then we rented a car, saw our family, and then we drove from Vegas to Ventura, California.
Oh, that's
it was
awesome.
amazing. And then we went to the wedding for a few days, and then we drove down the Pacific Coast Highway.
Oh, that'd be cool.
We went down there into Anaheim and went to Disneyland for Avengers
awesome.
because my boys are crazy. Avengers and Star Wars.
Star Wars.
So I got a
That'd be fun.
cool video on my phone of Finney at the time, my little guy who will be in kindergarten next year.
Oh, okay.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, he's gonna test Miss Macias. He's
That's who he's got.
yeah.
Yeah,
He was just singing "Hey Chat" the other night at dinner.
Oh,
he knows
boy.
too much. Hey Chat. You know the 30 for 30 by SZA. Yeah, yeah. He sang the whole "Fold that no yoga mat," and then he goes, "Hey Chat," and me and
Oh
Becca
my
look at each
gosh.
like, "Oh my god!" He just said that in the middle of a restaurant.
That's awesome.
That's amazing. Oh, I can't wait to see him.
Yeah, he's hair down to here. He's a
Oh,
little.
boy.
He's cool. You know,
That's
like
awesome.
Benson now. He's had the long hair.
Yeah.
I don't even know what I was saying anymore. Oh, they all went on like a big Star Wars ride, but Finney
Yeah.
was sleeping in the stroller, so I stayed with him, and I ended up getting the best show as they waited in line and did all that. All of a sudden, not Han Solo, Kylo Ren comes walking by
Yeah.
with a bunch of stormtroopers talking to people,
That's
and like
awesome.
going up to like people right next to me, like, "Have you seen da 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 for the?" And then he
That's
put
so
on like a
cool.
whole show with like a fake
Yeah.
fight scene and everything, and I'm
Yeah.
recording all of it, and they're like, "That ride was so much fun." I'm like, "Yeah, well."
Yeah.
Yeah,
Look
look
at
what
that.
I got to see.
That's awesome.
Those
It
are
was
cool.
great. I know. I just keep thinking of things to talk about. This was fun.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
glad you
we-
enjoyed
yeah.
it.
Yeah, we're on the longest pod we've had.
What time were we scheduled till? Oh, we still got time.
Yeah.
See, if I leave, then I have to go parent. So we need one more question,
Yeah.
Ashley.
Okay. Oh, just off of the top of the head?
Yeah, I think we touched all that, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
Teacher advice, is that what that says?
Well,
Like, do you have
think we-
any?
yeah, I do. After hearing you talk a little bit about it, if you will, like, say it. So how many kids do you have?
Like your
My own
family?
children?
Yeah.
Yeah.
3.
3 of
I
them?
have a stepdaughter.
Okay.
So Becca has a daughter that is 26 this year.
Okay.
She'll be 26 this year. So I have a stepdaughter. She lives in Sioux Falls. She has a girlfriend. I think they're engaged. They are engaged. I know they're engaged, but I don't know if they're getting married anytime
Oh,
soon or not.
okay.
But her and her
Cool.
girlfriend are engaged.
Okay.
And then I have Benson's my oldest, the 6th grader. He'll be a 7th grader. And then May is going to be in 5th grade next year. And then Finney's the little guy who is going to be in kindergarten.
Oh,
Awesome.
I'm excited for that.
So,
Okay.
oh, he's going to call Miss Macias on her when she goes. He's going to be like, "You were going to say motherfucker?"
That's so funny. I love
I had
that.
a couple kids do that to me this year. Even just like the last 2 weeks of school, I'm like, oh and they're like, what were you gonna say? What were you gonna say, Miss B? What word? I'm like, shh. I was telling myself to
Yeah.
shh. What do you
Yeah.
mean?
Be quiet. Be
Just
quiet.
shushing myself.
Yeah.
That's it.
I love it when some of the a couple kids. Oh damn! I'm like, darn! Oh darn! You know, it's
Dude,
Yeah.
when you correct them for that in
Yeah.
your room, I don't even catch it because I have my little friend that she is
Yeah.
just the one day one of my paras was doing her hair and she goes, "Stop touching my hair, bitch." It's like, whoa, girlfriend, you are in 1st grade. Like, and she's using everything accurately.
Well, when they say it in context.
Yes, yeah.
I was standing with Macias in her doorway like 2 months ago, and there was a little 1st grader that walked by. These kids are savages.
Yeah. Valid.
In the morning at like
Yeah.
8:10.
Yeah.
Like, who wakes up with this sort of energy? I don't know. But we're walking by and she like walks by and she like gives me a dirty look, and then Miss Macias is like, "Hey, good morning," and says her name, and she's like, "Why are you so fat?" I'm just like,
Oh my
They're brutal.
god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like, and I'm
Yeah.
like, Macias, and she's like, I'm just
Yeah.
gonna pretend she didn't say it. I'm like, oh, you're way nicer
Yeah.
than me. You're way nicer, and we
That's
would have
so
been having
funny.
a problem. But
My god.
Yep.
and then she was the same girl that was giving Mr. Lily lip, like
Oh.
the second to last day of school, walking away. She was like ragging on about his beard and all of his beard hair. And
Oh
I was
my
like, this
God.
little girl.
That's hilarious.
I think it was some of our first graders were saying some not nice things to one of the teachers, and they're like, "Are you okay? Why are you walking with a cane? Are you gonna be here next week?" Like, oh my gosh! I'm like, nope, no, we aren't gonna ask these questions. Nope.
Well, my student that like he's out in gen ed for most of the day, he was in a class where they had student teacher, and the student teacher is like, hey, it's gonna be my last day, I'm gonna be leaving, whatever. He just goes, yes, like at the rug. It's like, dude, no, inside thought. Like I mean, I also had the same feeling, but inside thought, like I mean, if the student teacher lost me 2 times, I would probably be happy for them to leave too. But that is what it is.
If there was one person we could get on here, it's Mr. Lilly.
That,
I asked him
yeah.
straight up. He's like, I will listen.
Yeah.
You're not gonna get him.
I will not talk.
You're not gonna get him.
No.
No.
He's,
He was probably the one that sent the survey back anonymously. Do you know how long he's been teaching for?
10 or 11?
Aw.
10, 11?
this was a 19-year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I, have no
I love
idea.
his class.
19 years in our building? That narrows it down a little bit.
Well, I don't know necessarily in our building, but
Well,
like,
yeah, but 19 years in
yeah,
general,
yeah,
like-
valid.
It wasn't Woods because
She's longer than that.
Leopold's longer.
Melissa Haley? Haley might be
I
up
don't
in
know.
that
We do
range.
them after. We're
Yeah.
doing Woods and Haley
Yeah, today.
video.
Well, it's all downhill after this.
Literally.
No, I love Mr. Lilly's room, like the plants. And
Oh, yeah.
all that setup. It's just
Yeah.
and the very first day I ever looked in there, the old chairs and that table setup.
Him and I bonded this year over the cotton candy machine.
I called he would get cotton candy in that beard.
Yeah. Yeah.
You guys broke it.
No, he broke it. I was just holding the popcorn or the like bags for the cotton candy.
Yeah. I think it just overheated.
Yeah. Well,
I
then
don't
I
know.
had to keep turning down kids for that. And then it's like once we actually got it like shut down, they're like, okay, will you help? And I like had to turn away people in the food line. I had some upset adults looking at me,
Yeah,
and it's like,
that's okay.
I'm 12. Like, please.
It's
don't
also
yell at me.
like, for one, this is like a free event.
Yeah.
yeah,
So let's remember that.
yeah,
And it ends at 7 and it's
Yeah.
6:45. So we're
Yeah.
shutting down the food line because
Yeah.
whoever's in line,
Yeah.
it's going to take us 15
Yeah.
minutes to get them their food.
yeah.
Like,
You shut down that cotton candy, and we were swarmed at the prize tables. I'm like, Ashley, you want to help? You're like, no.
Yeah.
You didn't.
Yeah. Nope. Nope.
so I went over and snagged her because I was cooking
Yeah.
hot dogs, and then
Yeah.
a couple people, Nostros, and someone else left. And so Mueller and Macias were like all on their own at the
Yeah.
food behind me as I'm cooking hot dogs. And so I'm like turning around, wrapping them as fast as I can, trying to help Mueller. And then I looked over and I saw her and Lily, and I was like, they gotta come help. They
Little
have
do you
to.
know, that's actually one of my super secret talents is like being the youngest of the 3 of us. I grew up in a concession stand, so I'm a great like hot dog tinfoiler and all that kind of fun stuff. I couldn't say hot dog wrapper; it sounded
Super
too
secret talent.
suggestive. So hot dog tinfoiler was what it was.
Tinfoiler.
Shout out South Sioux Booster Club.
That is so specific.
Salsu Booster Club.
Yep.
I got to share this because my brain's. I had a guidance counselor one time that told our entire class in 6th grade that she was a stripper.
That's awesome.
And what she meant was she walked barbed wire fencing and stripped off the supports.
That's hilarious.
And we're like, what the heck? And Beth is leaving with a grand exit. Potty break?
Yeah, so bad.
All right. Well, this might be a good spot to wrap.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me,
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah. We're
was
going to have
fun.
to have you again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I feel
maybe
like-
you could bring Mr. Hendricks because he went from teacher to principal, right? He's a principal now.
That would be a fun.
Well, now he's back in ESL.
Oh,
So he
really?
was 5th grade for years. I think he taught like 3rd grade too at one point, something like that. And then he went to North as a ESL, then West High for principal, assistant principal. And now he's coming back to ESL.
Oh, cool.
You'd have some fun stories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is he the
They
one
were like the dynamic duo
is
when I
he the one
first
that's taped
started.
up on your basketball?
Yeah, he's on my basketball. Yeah, he's all right. He's all right. Yeah, he would come on. I'm sure he remembers you. You
Yeah,
worked
yeah.
with- See, I've never worked with Ashley.
Oh, really?
I've
Yeah.
never had a student that we've never had mutual students. So
Oh, 'cause you had
Boyd
moved.
and I worked with this year and you, but I've never worked with her.
Yeah.
So
Because I mean, yeah, I only did resource for 2 years.
Oh,
and
right.
I was kind of a hermit. Me and Mr. Hendrick, so we shared one of my favorite resource students. He had told, and when he was in 4th grade, his teacher, like, stop being a Karen.
Oh,
And it's like, well, are you wrong? Not necessarily, but like, you can't say that.
yeah,
inside thoughts.
Yeah.
right.
So you weren't the kind of resource teacher that went and rolled down the hallways in your chair,
Oh, no.
light up wheels and all?
No.
Oh.
I mean, I like till this year did not leave my classroom really. Like I talked to Paige and Becky and like I talked to teachers for IEP meetings, but like I'm not a social butterfly. I
am by nature.
Yeah.
I sold real estate for 4 years. It's like
Yeah.
I had to be.
I don't mind talking at school. I'd rather talk to students. Like in the hallways, I ignore adults a lot
Yeah,
when they're
yeah,
trying to talk to me,
yeah.
and I just keep engaging with
Yeah.
the kids because adults usually ruin things.
That's a very true
I love
statement.
I love walking out of my classroom and stand like, but I'm like a central hub,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and just kids coming and going, and I love when kids are like, Mr. Anderson. I'm like, hey, and they walk in. I'm like, I have no idea who that is.
No
But
idea.
that's all
Yeah.
right.
No idea. Happens all the time.
Yeah.
Mr. Whitlock, and I'm like, who was that?
Yeah.
Sure. Hi.
Beth, we had somebody bring us. I think it's probably still in my room. I got to go back to my room. Juice and food at the end of the school
Oh
year.
my god, we had so many, and kids we don't even see.
Yeah, this kid walked in my room and handed it to you, and I was like, "Oh, you see him?" And you're like, "Nope." He's
Yeah.
just friends with somebody else we do see.
Another girl just kept giving me extras if she had anything. She's like, "Here, you," and then if there's another Mr. Anderson, just you two. I'm like, okay.
Thank
That's
you.
awesome. But yeah, like you said, we should probably wrap it up a little bit.
All right. Well,
Like the hot dogs.
tinfoil.
Anyway, this has been Gaggle with the Gaggle.
Like,
Comment.
comment,
Subscribe.
subscribe. If you are subscribed, unsubscribe and resubscribe.
Follow. Tell your friends. We have a Facebook and an Instagram.
TikTok
How's
in the
that
works.
TikTok? I'm
She
ready to
needs a
bust
new
out a
phone.
TikTok dance.
I'm gonna get my stories this week. We will
Okay.
have TikTok up and running next week.
Yep.
Oh boy.
YouTube,
Yeah.
Spotify,
You could make YouTube shorts.
Amazon Music.
It's on anywhere.
Apple
Yeah.
Podcast,
Yeah.
like
Apple
anywhere
Podcasts.
you can get.
Yep.
podcasts.
Yeah.
Where you get your if it's not there, tell us. I can maybe get it there.
Yeah. Or like if you go to the website, you can like just listen on the
Yep.
website,
Ashley Ray makes things for all
the merch.
the teacher merch. If you specifically want goose themed stuff, is it sillygooseclub.com?
SillyGooseTeacherClub.com. Otherwise, if you go to like my website,
Yeah.
I literally have a
It's all
banner.
linked together.
I think what we're gonna have to do is just get a sign that has it back here
Yep.
Yes.
with all your stuff
Yeah.
for Silly
Goose
Goose
say that we're
Teacher
gonna have a
Club
banner or
and all
something?
that.
Yeah.
You'll have the banner up there.
Yeah, but then you wanted us to come early, and Mike wanted to go drive a truck, and
I already have a truck.
my Mike.
Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Subscribe to the channel.